Hello and welcome to part 3 of this topic, What If Analysis Calculation in Smart Reporting. I am Abhijit Teli from Smart Reporting Development Team. In part 1 and in part 2, we have understood the concept, and in part 2 we have created a sample report which will show us current system status with the key data points. In part 3 we will create 2 more variables which will provide a rough estimation about future. Let's get started. Open the report that we have created earlier, and in the left side pane navigate to parameters field category that we created earlier in incident management view, and we added parameter object in it. Drag that parameter object into filter section, and in the top bar locate filter formatting option and click on it. In filter formatting you can see parameter 1 gets added. Click on it, and in the display section provide some description for this object like SD agents. Expand entry style section, we have a couple of options available here for value entry method, and the default value will come from view. We'll set it as slider, and we'll set minimum value as 0.00 and maximum as 20.00. We can also choose color, and rest of the value we can modify. Now close filter formatting. Next we will create another calculated field. We call it as closure forecast. Essentially it will forecast the closure, and the calculation for this will be my closure per person variable that we already created. Search for closure per person, and we'll multiply that variable with our parameter 1 value. So here we will assume that newly added service desk agents will also work with the same efficiency. Then what would be my closure rate? So we will use existing closure per person and new parameter 1 value. Okay, so validate the formula and click on save. Now drag closure forecast variable into the report. So here is my forecast for closure, and in the right side pane you can see SD agent filter. It's nothing but a parameter with a slider. It has minimum 0 value and maximum 20 value. Let me set that SD agent value to 8, which is our existing system condition, and if I average my existing closure it will say 24.77, which is at 25. It's a rounded value, and we can modify that value. Now we'll again use closure forecast variable to calculate our closure rate. We'll modify the display name as closure rate forecast, and then again in advanced function we will use percentage against column, and we'll provide column name as incident submitted. We'll average this value as well. Now we have our report ready. Let's quickly save this report with some name. We'll provide some name as what if analysis ticket closure, and we'll save it into the incident management category. Now here is how it behaves. So I have 10 service desk agents. My default value or my existing value will be 8. If I increase that value to somewhere around, let's say 13, if I refresh the report, I can say the forecasting will shows me that I can have 69% closure rate, and 41 will be my estimated closure, ticket closure, right? So let's assume if I increase that value again to somewhere around 15, so it again displays it can be my 79% closure rate and 47 closure, right? So this is how it works. It's just in a simple example to demonstrate smart reporting's capability to achieve this use case. We can make it much more complex by expanding its calculation context. Just make sure the calculation is precise enough, and it will give you answers for your questions. I hope you find this topic useful. Thank you for taking time and watching this video.